everybody, Baker Belts here, and welcome to Composis, Iteration 2, Episode 1. This is the Cosmic Rooster from my novel, The Really Big Story. Based on a recent conversation, I've decided to reset the game. We're gonna use some different rules this time. For those of you who are discovering this for the first time, Composis is a solo single-player role-playing game that I have been playing since early childhood. It has evolved over the course of my life. I'm 39 years old. I'm going to be 40 in just over a month. I've been reading the Shakespearean sonnets recently, and I felt kind of convicted because Shakespeare basically says, if you're not married with kids by the time you're 40, it's all downhill after that. Your beauty is going to fade. The memory of you is going to fade. Nothing will be left on this earth unless you leave some sort of a lasting legacy. I think a lot of folks are concerned with their legacy. My own legacy, based on my life path thus far, is little more than a library of electronic music, some of it good, some of it bad. None of it has been very successful. I haven't even made back my publishing fees yet, but I haven't lost heart. I still enjoy making music, and the reason I'm playing Composis is it gives a sort of framework for encouraging me to practice the various instruments that I have in my possession. After writing electronica music since the year 2004, when I wrote my first album, the Void Relapse Sessions, I've become very proficient improvising melodies on a keyboard. But some of the other instruments that I learned earlier, like guitar, which I've been playing since I was in the 5th grade, the skills haven't withered. I just haven't developed them as much as I would have if I'd put hundreds of hours into practicing guitar instead of hundreds of hours into writing electronica. I would probably be a pretty decent player. But that being said, I recently had a conversation about the nature of what video games have turned into. One of my spiritual mentors was talking about the video game Candy Crush and how people drop like hundreds or even thousands of dollars basically gambling in this game. And like every gacha game is like that. It doesn't matter what you're playing. They are getting little kids addicted to gambling at a very young age, and it really is a tragedy. So I considered that conversation and thought, well, maybe playing a role-playing game with lots of randomized elements, it's so close to the sort of randomization, stochastic, whatever you want to call it, that is at the root of gambling, that instead of showing how I've come to the decisions of how the story is going to unfold, I'm simply going to tell the story. And in the spirit of a true bard, I'm going to play instruments when the characters play instruments, and I'm going to make artwork to illustrate the various scenes as they appear to me in my imagination. My primary goal here is to become proficient at acoustic instruments and to gain some proficiency with my art skills, which I haven't really actively cultivated since I took a design class in college, which that was over a decade ago. I became really disheartened when the AI models started making artwork that was better than anything I could ever achieve by my own skills. But I think through renewed practice, my skill level will increase. And after all, an AI image might only take 5 seconds to make and look a whole lot better, but there's no heart in it. So I'd like to share my heart with you, and that begins with this, the second iteration. In my novel, The Really Big Story, one of the primary characters is the cosmic rooster. Whenever things get too far out of hand, the cosmic rooster resets the system. Think of him like the Groundhog's Day alarm clock. Every morning, Bill Murray wakes up to the exact same day. So we are going to wake up to the very beginning of the story with Zoe, Lain, and their brother Gayo, who are both immortals, but they choose to remain perpetually as adolescent children because it's so much fun to be on that threshold where the play of childhood hasn't been forgotten, but the wisdom of age is slowly being distilled into something like maturity. We will begin the journey as Gayo, Lain, and Zoe set out. And their first encounter is with a traveling merchant who happens to be a musical talent agent looking for talent. He sees that the children are all carrying instruments with them and asks for each of them to give a performance. Zoe plays her ukulele. Lain plays her guitar. Geo plays his flute. Well, children, says the traveling music agent, you aren't half bad. I'm not sure you could sell out the super mega sound dome, but I have some smaller venues in some of the towns east of here. If you're ever in town and you see one of the theaters, give them this card and tell them you met with me on the road. And one of my employees may be willing to give you an audition. Cheerio. I'll see you later. It was so nice to meet you. I gotta be going now, though. With that, the traveling music agent set off down the road, and the kids headed east along the well-worn path towards the many villages that lay in the valleys below. But very soon, they came to an incline too steep for them to travel down by foot. And so they had to take the alpine slide. Who wants to go first? Let's all start at the same time and see who gets down first.
In the world that the children came from, one of the primary methods of travel was by gondola and alpine slide. No matter how many times they rode either of them, the children never grew tired of how much fun it was to race to the bottom. And I apparently didn't build that track very well. Fortunately, while they were in free fall, the engineers of this particular alpine slide had time to make adjustments. The engineers knew that it still wasn't quite right, so they used test dummies for their test run. Oh gosh, that one didn't work either. Um, gosh, maybe I need to go back to engineering school, one of the engineers said as he tried to rebuild the alpine slide again. With one last effort, the engineers re engineered the track, but they suspected something wasn't quite right. Meanwhile, Zoe, Lain, and Geo pulled out their parachute packs and glided down to safety as the befuddled engineer tried his design one more time. Okay, two of them got stuck and one of them ended up on the ground. This clearly was not a very good design. He looks cool though. That was a close call, guys, Geo said. Maybe we should prepare ourselves with hang gliders for the next alpine slide we might encounter, just in case the engineers at that location are just as incompetent. That's a good idea, Lain said. I know just the design we'll try. Let's see how it flies. Alrighty, guys. It's the best I could do. Let's see how it goes. That landing wasn't quite good. Let's try it again.
Well, Geo said, I thought it'd be a pretty good design, but apparently not. With that, the children were now at the base of the incline, found a nice clearing to set up camp, and they cooked themselves a nice meal, pulled out their sleeping bags, and went to bed for the night. When they woke up in the morning, they brewed themselves a nice pot of boiling fonantine to enliven them for the journey ahead. And what happens in the journey ahead, that will be the topic of the next episode. Thanks for watching episode 1 of Iteration 2. I hope you found this enjoyable. Still having fun playing, but I'm not sure how frequently I'll be posting episodes. This episode ended up a little bit shorter than the first iteration episodes, but I still do plan on following the basic quest line that I initially came up with. I'm just altering the way I play the game a little bit. So thanks for watching. Baker Belts logging out. Peace.